You are now tuned into TTB Entertainment.
This program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the panel. And as always, we have Bubs the God, Aaron Wilds Out TV, myself, the voice of TTB. And today we have a special guest. He is a producer, director, founder, and CEO of Signal23TV. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Henderson Maddox onto the panel. First of all, Henderson, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. Now, before you launched Signal23TV, you directed classic films like 5 Days in the A and Sounds of Poetry. What made you say, fuck working for other studios and start your own?
Good question.
Well, I actually did about 7 feature films. I'll say about, at that time, maybe about 5. And every year I would do a feature film. I would go to film festivals, win the awards, and come home and then be like, okay, what's next? And then do it all. And so, but every year also I would have a screening for that film in my home city of Atlanta. And like I would sell out, whatever theater I had. And I was like, man, if I could do this all around the country, I could really do something. Being Black and being in the entertainment industry and on the outside of the camera, things get very difficult. They're not as easy for us. It's not easy for anybody, should I say, but definitely being a person of color, it's difficult to get into those rooms. So I knew in order to get into those rooms, I had to get attention. I had to do more than film festivals. I had to do more than a compelling story. Because, of course, with a low budget, you can only do so much. And I actually looked at Tyler Perry. I'm a huge fan of his hustle. And I looked at how he basically was able to create his own vehicle and make Hollywood get in his car. So at the time, a good friend of mine is Robin. Robin Givens actually started this website, and we did a reality show called Buddy's World, which was her son. It was partnered by McDonald's. She wanted to do this website to where she would have like all these different people contribute to this website. It was called the Forever Journey. And so I came with the idea, and I was like, well, Robin, what if we did a short film once a month? Like you get to play characters you've never played before. Obviously, Robin is too busy to be, really putting all the energy and time into that. But that is how I came with the idea. I was like, well, Henderson, why don't you do that for yourself? And so that's how Signal23 was born. I started a YouTube channel, and not for blogging or anything like that, but just, to make my content. So I originally had, I think it was like 21 different type of shows when I first started. And from cooking shows to I had a bedtime story show for kids, had everything. I had one LGBT show, but had every type of show you have. And then that's what kind of got everything. The whole premise of it though, basically was to build an audience. So it really wasn't saying fuck Hollywood yet. I did get to that point, but it wasn't saying fuck Hollywood. It was really just trying to build an audience to get Hollywood's attention so that when I did get a deal, it was one that I could have benefit from, something similar to what Tyler Perry had.
How did you come up with the name Signal23TV?
Well, 23 is in everything. I was born August 23rd at 7/23. I graduated high school in 2003. You take out the 2 zeros, you get 23. When I was a music video director before the movies, I was Mr. 23. My first movie went to theaters when I was 23. It's like the movie, Jim Carrey movie, like it gets weird. I can keep going and on and going. That's the one that I noticed. Nevertheless, so 20, I knew it had to be something 23. And I guess, what are you doing? I'm starting a TV network. It's a TV station or whatever. And then, some kind of way, I can't remember exactly, but Signal came into the space. At first, I thought about just doing the Signal. And then I looked it up in Georgia State University. Their newspapers actually called the Signal. So I was like, oh, their website's gone, so I can't do that. So then I put the 23 and Signal together, Signal 23 television.
Okay, really quickly to the audience, listen, my window is open, so if you guys see a fly buzzing around, that is why. I just wanted to put that out there, okay? Now, out of all of Signal 23 TV's, hit shows, like About Him, Steel River, A Chance on Love, Cuffin' Season, to name a few, which show stands out to you the most? What is your show,
Show, oh, making people mad. Oh God, my show. Well, child, it's gonna have to be. If I had to say my show, I won't say my favorite as far as writing it and creating it, but my show has to be About Him. About Him is, well, it's kind of neck and neck with Cuffing Season now because we did take a year off because of COVID. But the longest running show on the brand. It is definitely one of the shows that took us to a different level monetarily.
It sure did.
Yes, I guess I have to say About Him, but overall, because if anybody, like when I hire new employees, we hire new editors in the office and I always tell them the breakdown. That's like About Him is one of my flagship shows because it is. So I guess I would have to say About Him.
So Signal 23 TV Espanol. Okay, what made you want to create Spanish content?
So what had happened was me and my friends, we went to Thailand. And I know you like Thailand, Spanish, what the hell. So we went to Thailand and I had an amazing time in Thailand, but I had fans. Signal has fans everywhere. I remember being in something like a cross between an after hours and a brothel in France. And it was weird because it was one of those brothels you have to take off your clothes, but it was like a club, and then you go around the corner. It was kind of like a dungeon type situation. A guy came up to me with his phone and could not speak English, but had the Signal app on his phone and was kind of trying to ask me for help to how to, log in or whatever. Long story short, I always wanted to expand because I knew we had a fan base from the very beginning. Even when we were on YouTube, we had a fan base in different countries. I went to Thailand, saw the culture in Thailand, met some of the guys there, and the first thing was to start Signal Asia first. COVID hit. Spanish was one of the things on the list. Spanish, Portuguese were all on the list. I've been to Brazil, love Brazil, got guys in Brazil ready to work too. But Spanish was the easiest to start. I had literally just ended my last relationship. I was going through that whole situation, that breakup situation, and I was like, I need to get the fuck out of here and go somewhere. And I went to Colombia, and I was like, I took 5 people with me to Colombia, 5 of my team members. I was like, we're gonna go to Colombia. What we doing in Colombia do? I said, we're just gonna go film some stuff. We're just gonna make it happen. I'm tired of waiting because I wanted Asia, but because of COVID, I can't go to Japan, I can't go to Thailand, I can't go anywhere on that side of the world, and we can go to Colombia, so we're going to Colombia. So I actually went to Colombia last October, and we filmed what we call super sexy shorts, which are basically something I use here in America to kind of train some of the guys to act, to where it's just improv. Like we have detailed scenarios, and they act it out. Kind of helps them as far as training to get them, where we need them to be acting to be in some of the bigger shows. And so I just, that week we went down there and we just literally filmed a a whole bunch of shorts, and that's how it kind of got started. But we met some guys down there that were very hungry and determined. The one thing I did is for here in the United States, if you're a lead character and you're on Signal23, you get $125 a day. So when I went down there, I kept that same pay, even though I literally could have paid these guys $35 a day and they would still be happy. But I did it because a lot of times at the end of the day, I don't have millions and millions of dollars, contrary to what people think. And so a lot of times I know the issues that we have here in the United States when dealing with talent and getting with people commitment. People don't understand how the team and the people that you have on shows, they have to stay committed to these shows. There's a lot of pieces that put together to make things happen. So I didn't want to go down there and start something and not be able to continue to keep these people. So I said, no, I can afford it because it's what I pay, you know, in Atlanta. So let's just do it or whatever. And it was the best thing to possibly do because they were so hungry. They were showing up early. They showed up time. There were never complaints. We had fun. They showed us around. The second time around, we just went to do the reality shows, and the game shows was even better than the first time. The first time we had about 11 guys. This last time we went, we had 37 guys we worked with. And they were begging. Everybody didn't work. Some days everybody worked, but everybody didn't work every day. But they, even days they didn't work, they were like begging to work. And it was an amazing experience. Amazing experience.
How come no subtitles? Like,
now that's why we stopped. Okay, so I just made a video about it.
I know, I saw that video. I was like, what's going on? They don't got subtitles.
And it's not that I never thought I would do it. My whole premise when I set up content, I want to have 3 or 4 new entries for my fans. All right, 3 to 4 entries a week, right? So when I started Signal Espanol stuff, those were entries for Signal Espanol and not necessarily the regular Signal23 television fans. And I got bombarded with all this. We don't know what they're saying, and this is in the third. And I'm like, Hen, why did you not just do the subtitles now? Because originally I was going to release that stuff on the English side, you know. But nevertheless, yeah, we have subtitles now. We actually had to, the translator that we use in Colombia, she's actually helping us with the subtitles because the thing about it is, just like there's different forms of English, there's different forms of Spanish. So Colombia and Medellin, they speak, I guess kind of, I don't want to call it broken Spanish, but they speak different type of Spanish. So even a lot of the websites that we would use to do translations and subtitles would not translate it correctly. So literally I have to get a translator, and she literally has to go in and watch the episodes and type everything. Pause for a minute because I was like, you know what, it's better to pause now because my regular fans, they got plenty to watch. We got plenty of shows in the can, so they're gonna question me about it, but they're not gonna be too mad. But let me do this now because I would hate to get thousands and thousands of Spanish fans and then have to stop because we're waiting, you know, for subtitles and other stuff that they don't even, you know, need. So, but we have the subtitles, and I do apologize. I was moving so much and trying to get everything done that it was a plan to do it, but it was just, I was going to do it later when we kind of merge it into, you know, the English content.
Okay, well, congratulations on your recent engagement to Corey Michael Moore, correct? Yes. Now, from what I gathered, okay, he was an actor for Signal23TV. So how did the romance, like how did it go from employee to, you know, like what happened? What happened?
It started with the friendship, and it's no secret. We talk about it on our show because when we decided to do the reality show, we decided that we would be transparent, and it started with friendship. It was just a friendship. He was cool. Of course, it was a work friendship, should I say? You know, but at Signal, we do a lot of things together. We hang together. We do stuff together, promoting and stuff. It started from that, and when COVID hit, so me and my ex, and this is very transparent, we used to have threesomes, but we didn't have. Our rule was we only did threesomes out of the country because I travel a lot. right? So that was our rule. We only did threesomes out of the country. But COVID hit, and the strip club closed. And so that part of our relationship kind of stopped in a sense or whatever. And so we kind of, together, you kind of broke those rules or whatever. We actually had a threesome with Corey. And a lot of people, I hate it because a lot of people say, oh, Corey broke my relationship. Corey did not break up my relationship. Corey was like an innocent bystander. Me and Corey never even saw ourselves being together. We were literally just friends. But to be transparent, we did have a threesome with him twice before my relationship ended. After my relationship ended, I was going through it because I had, that was my first serious gay relationship. I had a relationship before that, but it only lasted for about 4 months or whatever. And I'm bisexual, so I'm used to dating women. And I'm gonna be real, guys only were a commercial break for me. So meaning
not a commercial break.
Be consistently dating
commercial
women, they have over here. I have a movie that I wrote that I'm gonna shoot. It's called The Other Side. And so me and my friend had a joke because we're both bisexual. We were like, what side of the fence are you on today? Are you on the other side of the fence? Are you on this side of the fence? So nevertheless, in between women, I would jump the fence, have fun, and come back. Because of society and because of just, things around me, I never pictured myself being in a relationship with a man. Long story short, fell over man, now I'm dating men. So what happened was I gave my all into that last relationship because it was Henderson giving a chance at love with someone to say, hey, can you really be with a man? Can you be happy in a relationship with a man? And I stayed in that relationship for 3 years. And no shade, I shouldn't have been in that relationship for 3 years, but I did because I was like, you're gonna do this, you're gonna fight for this relationship. This isn't a third, not to say he didn't, because I think we both did. So after that relationship was over, I was broken. And even though I ended it, I was broken because this was somebody that I spent 3 years of my life with, and we were together almost every day, nonstop. He edited for the company. He edited Cuffing Season. He was on set with me. I was teaching him how to write, teaching him how to direct. So we were attached at the hip. So I was in a really sad place. Corey and a few other people were friends. And then what ended up happening is Corey's father died. So it was a situation where both of us were going through something together and we were there for each other. We literally, in Atlanta, there's a restaurant called Rosie's on Northside Drive next to the Georgia Dome. And we would go there every morning for brunch. And we would get mimosas, we would get drunk, we would get fucked up. And at that time, we weren't even having sex. Even though we had sex before, we weren't even having sex. We were literally just being there for one another because his dad was his everything. So him losing that person, it was a lot. And, and me losing my ex, it was a lot. And then, day by day, we just kind of like got closer and closer and closer and closer. Then one day we had sex and it was like, okay, well, and you fell in love with each other. We honestly fell in love.
I'm happy you said that because in my mind, while you were talking, I was like, okay, so it went from crying on each other's shoulders to sucking each other off. Got it. So basically, but
it happens.
Okay, let's talk about branding real quick. Okay, branding. Now, when we told people we were interviewing you, some people didn't know who you were, and when they looked you up and they looked up Signal23TV on Instagram, they were confused to ask who the owner was. They didn't know if it was you or if it was Corey. Do you think your relationship is taking over all of your content branding wise? Because majority of the posts have been about you and your partner on the Instagram. So outside looking in, what do you think?
You know what? I've never even thought of it like that. But you know what? I am the perfect person to blame for that. I will say this, about more than a year ago, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I kind of got to the point where I was drained. I did not put the same effort every day into everything in Signal as I did from the beginning. And as you guys know, some of the stuff that I've been through dealing with cast and talent or whatever, I was over it. I was done. I was burnt out. I was empty. And so honestly, we really didn't promote and post stuff that much at all. Like, it was a period of time where it was like, oh, let me post something. Let me remember to post something. And I think that what happened was and not to say, this has nothing to do with my relationship, my last relationship, this has everything to do with things experienced in the Signal. But in this relationship, when we decided to do the show, I decided, and I also started to find myself again. It's different when I'm gonna be honest with you. I was in a relationship and I was very insecure. So being out of that relationship and not feeling that insecurities and not wondering what somebody's doing, I was able to start finding myself again. And I guess now that you're saying it, I'm realizing it. When I really started getting into swing of things, we were doing A Chance on Love. And so at the end of the day, we were posting stuff because it was a new show. Cuffing season doesn't need advertising like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's cuffing season. You know what I'm saying? It's always number one. It's number one on the platform right now. And so I guess I just kind of would post all that stuff. And then I got engaged, and I'd never been engaged before. I never been before. So I think it was just like a happy moment, and it just kind of overlaid. But I'm glad you said that, because that but we have, and just to address that too, I actually have somebody on staff now. She's been working for a couple of months, and her whole job is just to create advertisement and promos for social media. And so what we're doing is we have a calendar, but she's working ahead. So I wanted her to work ahead. So when we start posting 8 times a day, it's not like a rush to like, oh, what we're posting today. It's already edited already. It's already done. Because we got 52 shows. So we got plenty of stuff to post, to put out there and to advertise the network. So that will change. But I mean, people can think what they want to think. As long as I just want you to go watch the show. Just go subscribe and watch the show. Now, if it's making you not want to subscribe because you think it's just about me and Corey, then let me know that too. And I'll make sure I advertise some other stuff too. But, it doesn't bother me. But I'm glad you bring that to my attention, because I didn't.
Because that's what I was hearing. Okay, so Signal has always, been a risque platform. It's always featured some type of adult content, but now we can see actual sex. Okay, there's even videos of you fucking your partner. Okay, so what do you say to people who say Signal23TV has turned into a glorified porn studios?
Watch all of my content. And if that's what you feel, either support it or not support it, because at the end of the day, you're clearly not watching everything. Even the stuff that me and Corey do is for OnlyFans. Now I may drop a here and there or whatever, because I ain't gonna lie, our OnlyFans moment was it was us being spontaneous. They had just announced Biden had won for president, and we was being spontaneous. We made a video. I said, I'm gonna post. I had already started the OnlyFans, but it was just Signal people on there, like, the shorts. And I was like, let's just do it. We were just in the moment. Like, we had just left Rosie, that same restaurant I told you about. I was like, let's just do it. And we did it. We weren't together at the time, and we did it. And it was kind of like, I don't know, I guess when you kind of just go through something, sometimes stuff just kind of helps bring you out of shit. Kind of like a new breath of fresh air. It was rejuvenating. For one, I'm a thicker guy, so I am not my body. I don't like my body like that, but it was just something about being able to feel comfortable with doing that, feel good. And so that was for OnlyFans. But for people to say we do not do porn, again, the most that one person did get fucked. But first of all, it is never in the script that people are fucking, all right? The one time that somebody did get fucked, I'll tell you exactly when it was. It was during cuffing season. I was not in the room. Somebody else was filming a cuffing code scene, and they fucked for real. That was season 2 of cuffing season. Any other time, they'll put dicks in their mouths, and I tell the boys, I say, look, it's not a requirement for you to be nude. It is not a requirement for you to have sex. It is not a requirement. I said, but if you tell me what you're comfortable with, I will put you in something that supplements that. But obviously, for the people that we attract because of sex sales, and that when people see Signal, they don't see the Christmas movie or this on Twitter. They see the sex scenes or whatever that are fake. They see that. So that also has a lot to do with the people, the talent we've been attracting to work for us. So at the end of the day, they free willy, they free spirit. I feel like a lot of them sometimes they feel like they live in their fantasy because they get to, mess with somebody, or whatever and do whatever. And it kind of turned into that. And again, like I said, the last year and a half, I mentally was not, all the way there. So the more compelling content that I'm used to doing, I wasn't doing it. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I was doing what I had to do to keep paying the bills. It cost $7,000 a month to keep the website up on the servers and to have all that. So I was to pay the bills. And at the end of the day, I could go and film cuffing season in 4 days and get 16 weeks worth of content and then sit down and try to figure out and go to therapy and figure out what I want to do next in my life. So I think it kind of just got to that. And that's one of the things I talked about last week. And this has been my plan. COVID fucked up a lot of stuff. My plan for the last year, because I'm not in this deep depression, I've been, way past that, is to do more compelling content and get back to some of the stuff and have a balance. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with having, if they want to name it softcore porn or whatever, there's nothing wrong with it because baby, it's keeping the lights on. I just closed on a house. You know what I'm saying? It's keeping, it is keeping things, people working, people functioning. So I don't applaud for it, but myself as a director and who I am as a person who I want to be known for, I have to make sure that I have balance in my career. So that is something that I've definitely always in the back of my head, even when I watch coverage, I'm like, oh, what am I going to do to balance this out? We got to have some balance. So there's definitely going to be, balance coming and, keep stuff balanced.
Ooh, this fly is kicking my ass. Okay, 2 more questions and I'm going to pass it on to my lovely co-host. What is the future for Signal23TV?
It leads back to what I just said, balance. The future of Signal23TV is, I had an epiphany, and I made a video on Instagram, and I got to a point when I first started Signal and I did the first gay show, my fear was to be known as a gay director. And it was a phobia, like that's not what I want. And I can't remember what happened, but it's on my Instagram, and I'll tag you in it. I'll scroll back and tag you in it. But I was going through something. I think it was okay. So when I got engaged, my mom didn't talk to me for 2 months. My mom was bisexual. She had knew my last relationship. My father got my ex a Christmas gift, so it was no secret. It wasn't like, oh, this is sprung on you. But today, I'm one of those people to where I respect how people feel. I'm not going to push something on you and make you feel like you have to accept this. You let me know what I need to do to make you comfortable, and I'll do the best I can. I'm still gonna live my life though. I'm not gonna wait on my mom to die for me to live freely. But nevertheless, in feeling that pain, guys, I've been writing about all this stuff that we go through in the LGBT community and not have experienced it. I haven't been put out of my parents' house. I haven't been shunned off from my family, but I've been writing this stuff from somebody like kind of in the inside, but still on the outside looking in. To experience it, to feel how that made me feel, it hurt. And in that moment, I said, you know what? It's crazy. God will lead you somewhere and you not understand why. And I told myself, I've been, the very thing I tried to run from is what made me more able to quit teaching, which the dream I asked God, I said, God, I want to wake up, I want to direct and write every day. I don't want to do nothing else. It has enabled me to do that. And so I got into a place where I felt like my purpose, because it's always like, oh, I need to do more straight content. I need more straight content. And that day I said, fuck it. Fuck the straight content. My purpose is to be a director and tell the LGBTQ story. Now, does that include straight actors? Yes. Does it include gay actors? It includes everything, but that is my purpose. So that is going to be a part of my work. So the future of Signal23TV is to bring balance. Because right now, at the end of the day, I don't want it to be all about sex. You know what I'm saying? Because I can do more than that. And that's what I'm back to showing. But it's just to bring balance. You're going to get your Signal after dark. You're going to get your sexy stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then you're also going to get, some medicine. Like I like to give medicine to the community to help people heal, because that's one of the things that always kept me going is to be able to hear people, or, you know, when we went on tour or emails and say, man, you don't understand how you affected my life. Thank you. I don't feel alone. And that's why I have to keep going. So it's just to bring balance, to make sure that we are able to offer you a full plate. And after you have that plate, you can have your dessert. We're going to give it all.
All right, all right. Let's talk your upcoming clothing line, King Shit. Now, why clothing, and when can we expect it?
Okay, so when I graduated from film school, I got my first apartment. I had this board in one of my bedrooms where I had like 23 different businesses. And so it's a lot of things that I wanted to do in my career. Film was always the first thing I wanted to tackle. And I always said that would help lead me to doing other things. So clothing line was one of them. And so I don't know. I just clothes make me feel a certain kind of way depending on how I'm dressed. And so it's always been a part of who I am. And so it's something I've been wanting to do forever. And so came up with the idea. I had actually got the tattoo. I got this tattoo like 4 years ago. But came up with the idea, and and I was like, it's time to do it. I just, I want to do it. I've ran a successful business or whatever. I really want to start it. I want to put clothing out there to make men feel like royalty. I want you to feel like royalty. I want you to put the shirt on, even if it's just a sweatsuit, and I want you to feel like you just got a fresh haircut and feel like you the shit. And so that's what I kind of want to, I want to do.
When can we expect it?
Winter. We're trying to plan to have a fashion show in November.
Okay, now wait. What winter we talking about? Sheree Whitfield winter, where she says 2021 and then it's 2025, or we talking this year, next year? What we talking about?
Yes. Well, we'll say at the latest January 2022. This winter coming up. But again, I want to do the fashion show in November and just kind of take off, what people think from it, and the feedback I get from it, and then work on, trying to get it in place. I've actually had a phone conference today with somebody who's a boutique owner, and she has a boutique in Atlanta and she has one in LA. And so I talked to her about getting some of the stuff in her store. And so, yeah, I'm working on it. But yeah, winter, January. Let's just say January.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to take our first and only commercial break. And when we come back, Aaron and Bubs are going to take us home. Keep it locked right here, motherfuckers. You are watching The Panel.
I'm sitting here waiting for my boo to come over, and I am so nervous.
Nervous? You need to have a drink.
And you know what's so crazy? I literally just ordered shot tenders. Child, let me get up and have me a drink. Yeah. There you go. Bam! Baby, this is fam. Who nervous, baby? You not nervous. You are ready. You can do this. You are fabulous. You look good. You tall, baby. You walking like you talking. You is brave. Period. John Tennis, I need another one.
Guys, I need to borrow some clothes for the interviews because I don't have any fancy clothes.
Go to my closet, you take whatever you need. You too, Brennan. You guys gotta look sharp. It's the most important day of our lives, okay?
Okay, Dad.
What's your name? What's your age? Where you from? What's your sign? Who you love? What's your style? What you do? What you drive? Stop, drop, and roll. Do that. Do it like a pro. Do that. Stop, drop, and roll. Do that. Do it like a pro. Do that. Hit top, rollie, boy, we know you phony. Take it to the mall.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Panel. Now, before the commercial break, I was here trying to kill this fly, and nope, folks, I didn't get the mission accomplished. But luckily for you all, we still have our very special guest. Henderson Maddox is still in the building. Aaron Wilds Out TV, please take it away, my brother.
Hey, Henderson. My first question to you is, because of your own insecurities with your body, and as a fellow thick guy, I totally understand. Do you think that is the reason for your lack of thick guys on your platform?
I think it's definitely not, and I get this all the time. And we do not discriminate. We don't have guys that are comfortable. And I think that's part of the reason. And also with comfortability, it's not just, okay, you got to have like a sexy body. You also got to have a little sense of talent as well. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it's a reality show, I'll be honest with you, I don't give a fuck. As long as you have somewhat of a personality, you're good. You know what I'm saying? Because I do want to have representation for them all. But it's just like it's hard to get guys who are talented and willing to get nude. It is definitely hard to find guys that are, heavier guys that are not insecure and that are talented. Because just because you want to show your body, don't mean you're going to be on about him if you can act. It's not saying you have to show your body either, but you know what I'm saying? Like we have, he's always called himself our little token big guy, but even though I feel like he was not big, even now he's lost a lot of weight. Now he's like thin as rice. But Eli Liberty, who played about Percy, he used to call himself our token thick boy or whatever. But I think it's a journey. It's a journey to really be comfortable with yourself. And I'm still not comfortable with myself. I guess it just feels different because at the end of the day, it's on OnlyFans and everybody ain't seeing it. And if they is seeing it, they paying for it. So it's like, okay.
I've seen it.
Period. Why is there such a negative stigma on bisexual individuals? And do you think there will ever come a time where there's not such a negative stereotype or stigma on bisexuals?
Maybe I can't wait till y'all see this movie. I've been trying. And there's a line in the movie to where it says, I can't remember the first part, but I know the end part. It says something to the sense of, the world I live in, they don't understand me, and they'd rather me be by myself. The thing about bisexuality, think about first the sexuality period and the whole situation with gay and straight is because people do not understand. The lack of understanding can cause a war between countries, between families, between friends. So sexuality is something that people already shy upon, shy about engaging in, as far as having open conversation about it, but let alone you do something sexual that is not the norm or what's considered norm. So I think that bisexuality, you just get it, we get it both ways. Because at the end of the day, it's like, it's insecurities on both sides, because women feel like, oh, well, I can't offer you what he offers you. And men feels like, oh, well, I could never offer you this. I ain't got no pussy. I can't offer you this. And not understanding that a bisexual man, I love just like anybody else. If I choose to be in a relationship with you and I choose to be with you, I'm choosing you. At the end of the day, the likelihood of me to cheat is the same likelihood of a straight man to cheat or a gay man to cheat. At the end of the day, if I'm gonna be a cheater, I'm gonna be a cheater. It has nothing to do that, oh, you like both, so it's double the chances of you cheating. No, it's because the person that I am and the way I'm raised and how I feel and how I'm committed to you that I'm going to be what I need to be in this relationship. So I think that we've come a long way with the, as far as, gay people, but we have a long way, long way to go with bisexuality. I do love the way television is incorporating the Black bisexual man, and or how they say it. They don't call it bisexual; they call it sexually fluid. They're the sexual fluid man. They are incorporating him. I love the show Grownish, and I don't know if you guys seen the last episode of Grownish, but I don't know her name, but Chloe, her character, kind of went out on a date with a guy who is openly, bisexual. She knows he's bisexual. She kind of went out on a date with him, and it was funny because when he showed up to the date, he had a skirt on. But But they're pushing those envelopes to try to paint that picture and to get people to, you know, understand a little bit better, to say, hey, these are just regular people. You know, these people are just people.
Okay. Next question. I love that. I love that answer, by the way. Next question is, name a scenario in your relationship that almost broke y'all.
Ooh. I ain't got nothing to sip on this. Obviously we're talking about current relationship, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I deal with this in a lot of relationships because it's not easy to be in a relationship with me in a sense of what I do. And I told you guys in my last relationship, you know, I was very insecure. I wasn't the only person that was insecure. We both were insecure. And I think that the thing that we have dealt with, and I've dealt with almost every relationship, even before Signal23TV, I always have a lot of people around that I'm pouring into. And so I think a lot of times people get in situations to where they think that I'm a possession. And not just romantic relationships. This is just friendships. This is work relationships or whatever. Like I'm a possession or whatever. I'm like a token or a gem or something like that. And I hate that. I hate minds. Your minds, mine. That doesn't mean I want to be in an open relationship. I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? If I want to be in an open relationship, I'm just going to be single and do it. You're going to do what you're going to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. But I think that was, I guess, a situation that kind of like almost broke us, is him understanding that I'm in this to be with him, and he is my priority, no matter what. And so he doesn't have to second guess. And in our show, A Chance on Love, actually this episode that just aired on Sunday, we went to Aruba for his birthday. This was shot back in March. And, you know, of course, me taking him to Aruba was part of his birthday present. My real birthday present to him was the gift of clarity. Giving him clarity to deal with situations and talk through situations that have bothered us in the past, for him to know that I'm choosing to be with you. You are my priority. I want to be with you, if that makes sense. So I think, yeah, that was the situation, just kind of like insecurities. Insecurity. It definitely will, I mean, it'll fuck up a lot of things. It'll definitely fuck up a lot of things. I hope I answered that question fully.
I believe so, and I love it. I love that the answer, and I love it. My next and final question: what do you want your legacy to be when you're long gone?
Good question.
Ooh. It's funny because I always go back to my years of teaching. When I was a teacher, when Coretta Scott King died, I stood in front of my class and I told them, I said, what are you going to do in your lifetime to make sure that when you leave this earth, you leave a legacy that big that the whole world stops? For me, I think my legacy, I want my legacy to be someone who has been fearless throughout life. Fearless to defy people's eyes, fearless to not live in a bubble or confine myself to society and what society thinks I should be doing and society thinks I should not be doing. Fearless enough to just kind of walk into darkness, but to find the light, to get to the other side and to guide people to the other side through my work and through my passion of film.
And I pass it, and that's all. I pass to Bubs.
All right. Great questions, Aaron, even though your ass was late today, but you got it, which is good. Let's see. I'm gonna have probably like maybe 4 to 5 questions for you. Okay. First question is, now, the process of creating your content. Is there like a procedure or a ritual that you do in order to receive the ideas for your content? And if so, could you briefly share with us, that process from receiving those thoughts to full manifestation?
So I have a task analysis. It's a 67-step task analysis of how to complete a project. But that's a whole lot. We don't have time for all that. But I dream stuff. I think stuff. I see things in real life. I'm inspired by things. And I think that is what Signal23 television is a huge blessing, because I'm able to see things and able to wake up and say, this is what I'm going to do. Let me put it on paper, get it out here. Let me tell the story. So there's not a real, there's steps of things that I do business-wise in production to create content, but creative-wise, there's not really a set way. Different things happen in different ways. Like there's scripts that I have outlined in notes on my phone that I wrote a year ago. Like I wrote a script. It's funny. I wrote a script. I actually wrote this. Well, I haven't written a finished script, but I outlined this script, and I actually outlined it for Corey because I always wanted to do a timepiece. I always wanted to do something that had music in it. And so I'm doing a movie that we're going to do. Probably won't get to do it until next year. It's called One Lonely Teardrop. And it's basically about a singer in the, I think it was the 40s, that is black singers trying to be mainstream in the 40s, but dealing with racial inequality and all that other type of stuff that happens or whatever. And so literally I came up with that idea last Christmas. I went to Aruba for Christmas. I kind of just decompressed and just take my mind off of life and just prepare for 2021 to be able to step my best foot forward, because I knew, I told you, I had been lacking, have not been living up to my full potential as a creative. And so I said, you know what, get yourself together or whatever. So I went to Aruba for a week by myself, sat on the beach, and that's one of the ideas that I came up with. And I kind of just, wrote it in my phone and, kind of played with it a little bit, called him, gave him some, told him about it or whatever, let him see what he thought. I like to pitch stuff to people, people that are close to me, to just get their reaction, to see what they think. But yeah.
Okay, cool. You shared in a previous interview your philosophy about the black, the white, and the gray areas in reference to conflict solution, and the gray area being the area of emotions where a lot of people get stuck, which prevents them from manifesting what they want. So with you being the creator / showrunner, I'm sure you've had your moments of working through your own gray areas. If comfortable, could you share with us probably the most difficult gray area that you've had to work through thus far?
I think the most difficult one was making a decision to continue Signal23 or to stop. And I definitely appreciate you guys for this entire interview being positive. I appreciate it, because I was a little nervous. I was like, Lord Jesus, they're gonna take me back 3 years.
I'm about to say you caught a flashback from our first interview. Remember that one when
I was a little nervous. I appreciate it, but I have to go back to this moment because I have to answer this question.
Right, correct.
After the Kash and Rico situation, I felt like I was being put on this, what do you call it, where people kind of put you, like in the old days, they put you and they throw fruit and stuff at you. I don't know what it's called, whatever that's called.
Throwing tomatoes.
Yeah, like I felt like I was put in like this cage for the world to see. You know what I'm saying? And I was being portrayed by people that I had given my everything to, people that have caused issues in relationships and business relationships that I had fought for, and I felt completely empty and useless. I said, what the fuck am I doing this for?
Right.
You are talented, you are gifted, you are blessed. Why are you doing this? Why are you subjecting yourself to work with this type of person over and over and over again, and you keep getting the same results over again, it's limiting your creativity, it's limiting your growth, it's limiting where you're supposed to be in life. Why are you doing this? And that was the longest I probably was in the gray area, because I was in my feelings, because I started to feel like, okay, well, what am I supposed to be doing this? A part of me felt like, well, maybe I got to walk away from this to really walk into the light of where I'm supposed to be. And it wasn't till I realized that God gave me Signal as a bridge, and it's not my final destination. I have to be appreciative, because it was because I remember telling my friend, how do I open my mouth and say things that makes me feel like I'm not grateful for the blessings that God has bestowed upon me? How do I open my mouth and say that? And if I do open my mouth and say that, what will God do? Will he take everything from me? Will I be I don't want to be? And I had to realize that God gave me this bridge, this vessel to move in a certain direction to where he knows where I'm going to exactly wants me to be. But he gave me this vessel to navigate. Now, did I go down some wrong words? I probably did. But at the end of the day, he already knew I would do this. But going down these roads and going down these roads, I have touched so many people's lives, and I've gathered all these people. So when I do get to where he wants me to get, and the message he wants me to deliver, and the work that he is ordaining me to do, I have an audience for it. I have going to be receptive to it, because I've went down these roads to do all this stuff that have got of everybody watching what I've done. So it's like, you know, so I had to, it was hard. It was hard, because I felt like I had gotten sidetracked. When I looked at some of the, you know, earlier stuff that I've done, and I looked at some of the stuff I was doing right there in the moment, I was like, where are you? Like I was a lot of things. I was 2 times this size. I was a lot of things. I was not myself, and I had to find myself. That was a time when I think that I'm the type of person to where I'm quick to move on. I think that's the reason why I make people upset. When people lash out in the industry, it's because I am quick. I'm black and white, like I said. It's either this or that. What are we gonna do? Okay, well, you don't want to make a decision. I'm gonna make a decision for you. I got to keep moving because I have tunnel vision. That was the one I had to stay in the gray area, because I had to sort through my feelings, because through my feelings, I was able to understand and remind myself of what my purpose is and what I was supposed to be doing and where I'm going and how I'm going to get there.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said that, because it kind of segue into my next question. I'm going to kind of rephrase it a little bit, since it shared that with us. You did, yeah. Throughout your journey of Signal TV, and you just shared with us, like, you had that really dark moment in the gray area, and that tested your faith. Ever since then, like right now, looking in retrospect, how has your relationship with God's source been since then? Like, where are you at right now with that?
I think that honestly it's gotten closer, because he showed me through it all who he was. I say that is because when I look at the when I look at the Ricos, and I look at the Kashes, and I look at I can't even remember. We can keep going. But when I look, God said one thing to me. And it's so funny, because I'm gonna say it in the way that we say it in the world, but then I'm gonna translate it to what he really said. But how the joke people say, but did you die?
Yeah. Yeah, did you die? Right.
To me, did you lose anything? Did you not go to sleep last night? Did you not eat yesterday? Did your bills not paid?
Right.
That's over something that I protected you through. And that's when I realized that God will use you as a tool. And sometimes God will use the rake when you think he should use a shovel, and you're like, why are you using me for this? At the end of the day, you got to remember that it's an honor and it's a privilege to be in God's tool bag. And when he calls on you to use you, you allow him to use you. And at the end of the day, I know that certain people that have made bad decisions, that's what I'll say, made bad decisions when it comes to the relationships that I've had with people. I know for a fact they have learned from them.
Yes.
Learn from those decisions. And at the end of the day, some of them can never cross my path ever again. But hopefully, if they get another work with somebody who is favored by God and blessed by God, who can provide opportunities for their career, they'll do the right thing. They'll do the right thing.
Differently.
They'll do it differently. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's, I was go back to the meat of that, but I got a little off. But I think I answered the question.
You did. Thank you. I got 2 more questions and I'm done. And you share, and I appreciate that, because like you was talking about God using you. You're using and you're actually walking in what it is that God has for you, because like you said, you use your content as medicine in order to help broken people put a face to their brokenness, to work through it and to heal, and that it missed all of the sexual nature, that there are still underlying themes of healing and awareness. Could you share with some of the people who find it very difficult what those underlying themes are in your content?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry, you guys.
You laughing at Aaron?
No, I'm laughing at me trying to kill this fly, and it's just not happening.
See, the devil always trying to fuck some shit. We talking about God and the fly fucking around. See.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Henry.
Say that one more time so I want to stay on topic.
Oh yeah, no problem. The underlying themes in your shows, like of course they talk about the sexual things that's happening, but you said there's always an underlying theme because you use it as medicine. What are those themes?
Well, I think some of the biggest theme is that you're not alone.
Correct.
You're not alone. You're not an alien. You're not a stranger. You're not wrong for living the life that you want to live. That you can be free. You can be free to do what it is you want to do. I think that all of the stories that we tell are stories that we've lived. So whether if it's just coming out and trying to understand how to come out and how to feel through the stages of coming out, or whether it's feeling freaky and feeling weird because I want to do this freaky thing. It's just that courage and that freedom, you know what I'm saying, to walk in the light and just to be yourself, because that is how you grow.
Yes.
That's how you grow. If you hide yourself or stay away from things because you're afraid of what people are going to think or what they might say about you, you're never going to grow. Because some things may be just a pit stop for you, and then you may be going to something. But if you can't do a pit stop, you ain't going to get to that bigger thing. So I think ultimately, it's just, I think the biggest thing that you are not alone. You are not alone, and you can get through it. From, when I think about Uncle Joey and I think about being someone who is, HIV negative and not understanding truly what I can understand what it is to be positive. I can try to speculate, I can write about it, but making that show changed me because God does stuff in a weird way. Situations throughout my life where I have interacted with people that were positive. And when I tell you God always protected me, and I was able to do Uncle Joey because I was able to tell stories of people that I had knew that were struggling with certain things. For instance, and I'm gonna try to keep it quick, but there was a guy that, this was years ago during one of my commercial breaks, that this is back when I had never dated a guy before, but I met this guy online. We popped it off or whatever, and we were good. We were having sex or whatever. We were having sex, and I'm using one, wear protection or whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, after you have sex with somebody so many times, you stop doing things you're supposed to do. And I wasn't using protection. I just asked him one day. I said, "When's the last time you've been tested?" I said, "Because I need to go to testing." I said, "We've been having a lot of sex, unprotected or whatever, because we weren't in a relationship." I didn't think that I was the only person he was having sex with. I knew he was having sex a lot. I knew that was a possibility, but I ain't gonna put nothing past nobody. You know what I'm saying? And so I remember I was at school, I was at work in my office, and this man told me that he was HIV positive and that he was undetectable. I knew nothing what the fuck that meant. I knew nothing about what that meant. But I did have a love for this person. And you would think that someone like me would just be outraged. Oh, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna hurt you, or whatever, this and the third. I remember him crying on the phone because we were on the phone. I remember him getting out the phone. He was like, I'm gonna let you go. And my word is like, you ain't gonna let me go no goddamn where. All right. Because my situation was, I was, and that back then, that was in my DL day. Like, nigga, I ain't got nobody to talk to about this but you. Like, I'm gonna sit here and hold my motherfucking hand. I'm accountable to know the decisions that I made in this situation. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna sit here and you're gonna hold my hand and we're gonna walk through this or whatever, and you're gonna educate me. And I learned everything about what mean, what everything mean. I learned about all that. Another situation, and I'm gonna wrap it up, I promise. I had this guy that I would mess, we messed around when we were young. Again, in my little commercial breaks, he went to Morehouse, and we had some amazing sex. And then, you know, every time when I was younger and I felt like I got close to possibly could be in a relationship with the guy would move them, like on the other side of the country. So he got accepted to a program in New York, went to New York or whatever. So for, you know, we would keep in touch a little bit, but, you know, hadn't seen each other maybe about 4 or 5 years. I went to New York for a project, something I was doing, and went to his house. I went a couple of days early from when I was supposed to shoot. This wasn't my project. I was hired to direct this project. So I was like, I'm gonna go a little early. I haven't seen this guy in so long. I'm gonna go, you know, hang out or whatever. And I went to his house or whatever. And of course, we messed around a little bit. We didn't go all the way. He didn't allow it to go all the way. I didn't understand why. I was like, oh, I mean, I'm a top, so I figured, okay, he ain't ready or whatever. That's what we're gonna do. It over. So I stayed at his house, and while I was there, his kitchen was a mess, and I didn't have nothing to do. He had went to work, so I started to clean his kitchen. When I was in his kitchen, I found pill bottles, and I'm like, damn, he got all these pills. What is this for? Of course, me. I picked up my phone, and I did. To know what it was. And here it is, the second time God has had favor over me and protected me in a situation when I was being irresponsible. And when I did Uncle Joey, I wanted to humanize this person, because a lot of times in our society, we treat people who are HIV positive as if they're nasty, as if, I'm saying, oh, they're the worst person in the world, or you just slept with everybody in the world, or you just did this and did that. Well, that's not really the situation. So I was able to tell that story from an experience, still on the outside looking in, but telling that story. And so at the end of the day, there's a lot of people in our lifestyle who are broken and who are hurt. And I know some people who are still in a deep depression because of this. Yeah. I'm able to do that work to help them, to let them know they're not alone, but then also, you know, show them, okay, what is this character doing to get out of this? Maybe I should try this. Maybe I can go to this. Maybe I can get some therapy. Maybe I can talk to a friend and confide in a friend about this and have somebody to talk to and not keep it all bottled inside. So that's just an example of, you know, some of the messages. That's like that's why Uncle Joey is my favorite show, because I felt like that is one of the strongest messages and the strongest journeys that we have to get out there to help people heal in our community who is going through that.
Yes, you are not alone. No, MJ. My last and final question to you is, to the aspiring creator, director, actor, etc., that is watching this interview right now, what is one sound and solid piece of advice that you would give them that has helped and that is still helping you?
There are a lot of people in the industry who try to imitate people. Yeah. And you can't imitate greatness, because greatness lives within you. We all have greatness within us. Yeah. We all do. So you trying to imitate somebody else's greatness, it will always come to an end, because you're not in their head. You don't know what's in it. You know what I'm saying? But don't be so concerned with trying to be this person or beat this person. Be more concerned with trying to, how can I be the greatest person that I can be? Because when you be the person that you can be, you will fall into your line of your destiny and finding your happiness within your work. So for other people who want to be creators, don't wait. I tell people all the time, if you got a phone, you can film something. We're in a world right now where you can do a whole lot of stuff that when I was younger wasn't out there. TikTok, Instagram, you can build an audience, but you ain't gonna do it by talking about it. You need to do it. I don't care if you gotta be, people, sometimes people, they come for all the guys who, put the wigs on and play the characters or whatever. They're just putting their stories out there, and guess what? They don't need nobody but themselves to create their work. And sometimes you have to start with that. So if that's what you want to do, do it. You know what I'm saying? But just do it and try it, and don't be afraid to fuck up. Fuck up, and guess what? Get back up and do it again. Keep fucking up. I think I did a project one time, and I can't remember. This was back when I do music videos, and something went bad or whatever, and I kind of celebrated fucking up. Because when I fucked up, I learned something that I would never do again, because I'm prepared to be somewhere bigger, and I'm prepared to be somewhere great. So in order for me to be there, I got to know not to fuck up and not to make these mistakes. And so people are sometimes afraid of failing. And if they, one failure, they just say, oh, I just want to give up. I don't want to do this anymore. You can't. You got to keep going, and you got to keep creating. Because when God blesses you with the talent and the ability to tell stories or sing, whatever it is you're doing, you got to use it. And the only way you're going to get better is to practice doing it.
All right. Well, y'all heard what the fuck he said, ladies and gentlemen.
And my soul fed. Go ahead.
Okay. Henderson, thank you so much for coming on season 2 of the panel. We really appreciate it. And ladies and gentlemen, please expect his new clothing line, King Shit, coming this winter. And please subscribe to Signal23TV.com. New content uploads every Sunday by 10 p.m. Okay.
You can actually get a free subscription for 30 days by using the promo code SignalFree. So you get 30 days to try to watch as many of the 52 shows as possible, so I can hook you in there and that you'll keep subscribing.
Boom.
All right. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to my panel brothers. Thank you, Henderson, and thank you to everybody watching this. We are out this bitch. Bye.
Peace.